Hi guys, Chandra here again. So, in this video, I wanted to talk about the book that literally changed my life. And that book is Sapiens by Yuval Noah Harari. And this book is close to 500 pages, and this is one of the few books of this size that I have read cover to cover every single page. You can see if I open literally any page, you will see some sort of underlining notes from beginning to end. There's not a single page where I have not made some note or underlines. And the amount of insights, knowledge, new thinking that I was able to derive from this page was just unbelievable. It is easily one of the most addictive and unputdownable reads that I have had in my life. Now, I have read dozens of amazing books, and the amazing thing was that this was not a self-help book. It was not trying to change my life. It was just an account, a brief history of humankind, as the cover says. And it was my particular situation, my context, that made me think in a particular way while reading this book, which helped me take a high stakes risky decision that helped me create a life that I have always wanted to create for myself and my family. So here's what basically happened. I want to give you a context. So from 2015 to 2019, I was working in a 9 to 5 job. I was employed at Ministry of Defense in Government of India. I used to be, close to South Block. There was my office in New Delhi. So, I had taken up that job. I was an assistant there, but it was never my, plan to be in the job all my life. And I was always trying to find some idea, find something so that I can quit the job and start my own business. Around 2018, I had started a couple of online businesses, and they failed miserably. I lost money close to around 6 months worth of my salary. So it was a big challenge to come out of that debt. So I have always been a reader. I picked up reading as a habit from a young age while I was in high school. So, and I have a particular interest in history. So one day, one night after office, I was surfing for some books on Amazon, and Amazon suggested Sapiens. It was trending on Amazon. So I just randomly ordered it. And once the book arrived and I started reading it, I was hooked from the very first page. So the thing it basically changed for me was when I started reading about the history of human evolution, right from the pre-agricultural age to 21st century. I realized just how unbelievably difficult our lives have been, humans' lives have been before science and technology, really changed everything in the second half of 20th century. And how basically the entire context of how hard it was for people to live comfortably, the things that we take for granted today, the kind of lives that we are able to enjoy today. It was if somebody from 12th century AD or 13th century AD in Europe sees the things that we are able to enjoy today, they would think that we are in heaven. This is what heaven would look like. Right from food. If the people who were considered the most affluent, they were the people who did not have to worry about food. If you were certain that you don't have to worry about food for the next 6 months, you were easily belong to the most affluent sections of the society. I remember in my village, I was born in a village in eastern UP. So it was pretty common in our village that people would name their newborn daughters as Annapurna. Annapurna basically means that somebody who would bring basically cereals and food, so that we'll never have shortage of food. So that was the kind of mindset that our ancestors grew up in. Food was, a luxury basically. A consistent supply of food was a luxury. Then, the viral infections and diseases that we can cure today with a 5 rupees pill basically, they used to kill people all the time. It was rare occurrence for newborn children to see their first birthday. When I started reading about all this, we obviously knew about these things, but the kind of depth and detail that the author has, delved in this particular book, it's just unbelievable. It basically, expanded the horizons of my thinking. It made me see the world and history and humanity in a completely new way. I was reading about, two particular instances that really shook me. One was the Great Famine of Europe from the 14th century, and there was one more similar famine in China in 19th century. So the situation was so grim that people will literally dig up dead bodies from graves and eat their flesh because there was literally no food. People would, if people know that somebody has died in their neighborhood or in a neighboring village, people will go there and start eating their flesh. That is the kind of depravity and destitution that our ancestors have seen, people have seen to reach until this point. And when I read about all this, I started thinking about my life, and I thought that okay, I am so scared to take this decision. I'm not able to figure out and to be honest, I had no idea what we are going to do if I quit my job. I had no idea what am I going to do. So I basically discussed with my wife. Thankfully, I have a spouse who fully supported me. And it's an interesting story that we had an arranged marriage, and her parents gave her to me only and only because I had a government job. A government job is a huge deal in northern part of India, especially in the states of UP, Bihar, Haryana, Jharkhand, Rajasthan, etc. So thankfully, she was fully behind me, and I just asked myself, what is the absolute worst thing that can happen if I quit my job? Are we going to die of hunger? Are we going to die of starvation? No, we have parents back home who will, they might get mad, they might also abuse us a little bit, they might say harsh things, but they will give us food. So we are going to find food, all right. Then roof, so we have our own home back home. We will have a roof over our heads. We will have enough clothes, and God forbid if we get sick, our parents are not cruel people. They are going to help us get some medicines. And we were pretty sure that we are both educated, we can speak English. So in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months, worst case scenarios, if you're not able to find any solutions, we are going to start doing tuitions, but we are not going to. One thing was absolutely clear: we did not know what are we going to do, but we were absolutely certain on what we are not going to do. So job was completely out of the questions. So just around general elections in 2019, it was May 2019, I put in my papers, I resigned from my job. And that was basically the best decision, the most high stakes decision I have taken in my life, and it has turned out decently so far. I would not say that I have achieved the kind of success that I thought to myself that I would achieve in 5-6 years. But to just give you a context, when I quit my job, my salary was 28,000 per month, and just this last month we gave over 10 times that amount in salary to our employees. So decent enough progress, not too good but not too bad either. But on top of that monetary success, the amount of learning that I have received from my daily efforts, failures, 90% has been just failure. But the amount of learning, the learning curve that I was lucky enough to experience because I took that decision faster has been really valuable. So there's a lesson for two people. One, if you are in the middle of thinking about taking a high stakes decision that involves some risk, I would say learn from my experience and go for it. Second, that even if you're not in the midst of taking a high stakes decision, start reading books. They might just change your life. You are going to get ideas, and you're going to change your thinking in a way that you never thought was possible. So this was my lesson, and if you have not read this book, go ahead, grab a copy and read. And apart from this, anything that you can find from Yuval Noah Harari, go and read that as well. I hope this was worth your time. Thank you.